Hello my friends, and welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are going to be painting yet another fall theme tutorial, as has been the theme the last few tutorials. This one's going to be in portrait position, and it's going to be like a gloomy sky walk. So I've taken gray. I don't like how warm my gray is. I'll add some bluish gray there. And I just wanted to be more concentrated towards the top, so I just kind of rinsed my brush so it just has water, and I'm bringing that down. And I'm going to say I'm going to bring it about 2/3 of the way down, up until here somewhere. And one other thing that I can I'll do that later actually. So I'm going to switch brushes to a slightly smaller one here. It doesn't matter what size, just smaller than, I used a bigger one to cover more space because obviously it's faster. And so now I'm going to take like another grayish, this one's kind of blue-gray tinted, but it doesn't matter. Green would work too. Yeah, we're going to be painting very abstract trees in the background. So you start at the base of where you ended, because we're doing wet on wet, and you're just going to flick your brush upwards like that. And you do want to start from the bottom and flick upwards so that the tip remains pointy, so it looks like you've painted pine trees and not who knows what. And you can have different widths. Oops. Like so. This looks a little wintry, and that's not my intention. So you know what? I'm going to try and add some green in there. So definitely, I would definitely add green. Sort of like that. Okay. Now, in hindsight, I also would have made these trees way smaller because I wanted them to be way more in the distance than they actually are currently. But oh well. So I'm going to take yellow mixed with green, or a green, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to line the bottom of this section here like that, and then I'm basically going to fill in most of it, leaving a little road. So I would say I'm starting like if you were to divide this into thirds, you'd have 1, 2, 3. I'm starting on this third, that's where my road is going to end. And then starting on the first third, that's where it starts, like the width, I mean. And then you can sort of paint it like curved like that. And then join it with the other side there. And it appears, oh, this is, by the way, inspired by sarahdandelioncray. I'm gonna have yellow. It's kind of gonna be lined with some kind of yellow floral field, although you can't really tell just based on that. And I'm going to take some green for the center here. And extend that outwards. And I also want to take some black and add that in the center. Whoa, totally not what I wanted to do. kind of blended that in. Okay. And what's next? What else do I want to do? Okay, this side is going to be similar. It's going to be lined with more of a black, like a darker shade of green. Oops. And then the back is going to be like the bright color. And then this part is going to be orange. I don't know what that is. Actually, I should have added some orange here too. It makes it look fall-like. That's why we're doing that. And oh, the other thing is that this right now doesn't look very nice. So what I'm gonna do is take a lighter color of green, or you can just have like a watered down green, it's fine too. And I'm going to line this again. That's almost a little too intense. I'm gonna water it down a tad and have it fade downwards like this. And you can even like angle your brush horizontally to the paper to create an uneven decline. Make it look like there's trees or bushes or something growing there. Sort of like that. And we're gonna have another layer here as well, but this one's gonna be much darker. And you can achieve that in multiple ways, whatever works for you. So, like so. Voila. Okay. So, where are we? My trees in the background have really, the perspective is so off. It is so off. But we are where we are in this painting and I can't really do anything about it. So just roll with it. I do want to add a little something something here, texture to this area. So I'm just as thinly as possible going back and forth with my brush, trying to add like some sort of grass. Although that just looks like scribbles. So I'm going to blend that out. And what is that? I don't know. We'll just keep that there and hopefully it'll look like something. Okay. Oh shoot, I just realized I totally forgot to paint the road. Can't just be a white road, that makes no sense, does it? So take any pale color, like super watered down brown will work. Like don't be too hung up on the details of the color. Fill your road in. I do want my road to have like a darkened center where the tires would be. Like so. Okay. So at this point, we have to let this dry because there's a few additional details we're going to add, like trees and whatnot, to make this come together. So that should be dry, I am hoping. I'm going to take some brown mixed with black for my tree trunk. And we're going to be painting a few trees on this painting. So my one tree is going to start about here. And I'm just going to have it go upwards. And I'm going to try to have a few gaps like so. And I also want there to be a few branches coming off of this tree. And I'm trying to paint them as thin as possible. And I'll have another one right beside it. So similar. And while we have like a dark color on our paintbrush, we might as well paint the fence posts, which will be on this side here. So the way that I always describe painting the fence post is keeping, this is a little bit different because we're like curving around, but typically you want to keep the top height even and then just shorten the bottom of the fence post, but it's not really going to apply to this painting as much because of the curve. Let me try. See how those two are the same height, almost the same height, but they're shortened at the bottom. So we can't, like I said, we can't do that all the way because of how this is proportioned, but you also want to make the fence posts closer together as you move into the distance. I kind of wish I didn't add that one, but it is what it is. The next thing I want to do is grab a little bit of green because I'm going to be painting another tree over on this side over here. And this tree is going to be an evergreen of some kind, and it's only going to be the side of the evergreen. And I'm going to have to add a little bit of black to darken it because I can already see that you won't be able to see it against the grass that I've already painted. Oh my gosh, I just realized this is only the second tutorial today that I'm painting, at least. Obviously it'll be a new release, but I thought I was 3 in. Oh boy. Yeah, and then I'm gonna add just a little stump there that's barely visible because we're only painting the side of this tree. Okay, next I'm gonna just quickly switch gears back to the fence because I want to finish it before I move on to these trees. And we do that just by adding the whatever these connections are. And that's good. Okay, and then we can now work on these trees. So they look kind of like evergreens to me, like pines of some sort, but there are pines that turn yellow. I think, are they larch? You guys kind of educated me on that on one of last year's videos, because I was pretty confident I saw yellow pine trees, but they may have been dead or dying, so who knows. Or it's just a very pine-looking deciduous tree. Who's to say? I'm just trying to follow the contour, not the contour, but like the general shape of this tree. Although I'm not digging how this is currently looking. And then this one I'm going to make yellow. I need that to be way darker. Okay, I'm gonna take this random maroon color that I have on my palette already. I'm just adding that on top, just for a bit of contrast to make it look a little bit more fall-like. And the other thing I wanted to do really quick before I forget is add kind of like a base so these trees don't look like they're floating. And I did that really well here by adding like a shadow, but clearly so I just have water on my paintbrush and adding some color now. That's pretty good, I would say. The shadows don't match up there, but no one's gonna say anything about that. I am gonna add another fence on this side because it looks a little bit off without one. Like the road just doesn't look very nice and I can't be bothered to figure out why. So I'm just gonna put a fence and hope for the best. It's just the angle's a bit weird on this one. But it'll have to do. Maybe if I put just one over here. Something like that. Okay. I'm tempted to just add a little bird in the sky. I'll just add one because oftentimes I add 4 or more and it just looks bad. So I'm going to leave it there. You know what? This didn't end up turning out too bad. It's a nice 20-minute tutorial. Nice, simple, gloomy, fall road. Let me know what you thought of this one, guys. As always, I love reading your comments, and I try to reply to every single one unless you write it in a language I don't understand, which happens often. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next tutorial.